Welcome to the Witching Hour, a midnight broadcast from deep in the swamp on the outskirts of town. Earlier this week, the Hungry Maw's dentist, Doug Saliva, was found wedged between two dumpsters behind the low bar. He was severely shaken, catatonic, and covered in a strange goo, the color of which cannot be described. Stevie Hops, the proprietor of the low bar, plied the dentist with stale, savory snacks until he came to, a shriek on his lips and a crazed look in his eye. He said something about unholy halitosis, and fell face first into the popcorn machine. It seems that while performing his routine maintenance on the series of hook-shaped teeth deep within the Hungry Maw's gullet, Doug experienced a vacuum-like sucking sensation that threatened to pull the skin from his bones. He was then folded and pressed like an expensive dress shirt and took an express trip into the innards of the Hungry Maw. He suffered the indifference of the dark vacancy within, and became aware that he was nothing more than a tiny piece of giblet in a smear of gravy on a plate, spun by a monkey who stands atop a rolling wheel of Parmesan cheese in a silly little circus run by a silly little man in a silly little hat that he still wears even though his ex-wife gave it to him years ago and has worn out from crown to brim like their decayed and fruitless love life. Oddly specific, but that is what he said. Eventually, after a millennia spent in a timeless place with no company but the knowledge of his own utter insignificance, he was sucked free of the Hungry Maw's fathomless innards and into the black hole issuing from Barbara the tentacled chicken. Within that dark vacancy, he experienced a devastating sense of his own smallness, comparable only to the devastating sense of his own smallness he had experienced within the innards of the Hungry Maw mere moments ago. Eventually, the battling forces of the black hole wielded by Barbara and the gaping vacancy of the Hungry Maw arrived at an impasse, wherein Doug was suspended in the space between them as though stretched on the rack of eternity. He is now a few inches taller. When he woke from his supine position on the pool table where Stevie Hops had placed him, he sat up, yawned, and returned to his dental office to perform a routine root canal. Now on to our featured story. Have you ever wondered what it's like to be sane? You're about to find out. A camera crew from the UK was allowed access to the Miskatatonic Asylum for the Incurably Sane, and the footage they acquired inside is so spine-chilling it has been featured in the Cannes Film Festival as a truly visionary fictional movie in the found footage style.
I've been here about a year now, which is longer than most doctors last.
This is Dr. Nathaniel Loeb, head psychologist at the Miskatatonic Asylum for the Incurably Sane.
It's hard work being constantly surrounded by sane people. Some days, it feels like I'll never get through to them. We have a weekly irrational behavior hour where patients are required to do something illogical for 60 minutes. The latest session lasted 6 hours.
While this may sound like a success, Dr. Loeb went on to explain what the patients did during that time.
They deemed irrational behavior hour to be an inefficient use of their time and formed a committee to optimize irrationality. The meeting ended with a bar graph. It was a truly demoralizing failure.
Undeterred, Dr. Loeb implemented methods some would consider unorthodox.
I implemented a random object confusion experiment in which I hid unexpected things around the common area. A rubber chicken, a mannequin leg, a jar of Holler. This was supposed to shock the patients out of their direct flow of reasoning and into a more erratic thought pattern. They created a labeled and alphabetized lost and found with a checkout system. Someone also organized my pens and arranged my coffee cups by size and fluid ounces. They do things no normal person has ever thought of. I've tried art therapy sessions, telling them to paint their feelings. Most of them just left the canvas blank. One patient asked if he could paint someone else's feelings, and I said yes, because by that point all the patients had just been sitting there staring at their blank canvases. I was desperate for someone to do something. The patient painted a photorealistic Warhol-like depiction of me looking extremely stressed in different color squares. See for yourself.
In addition to uncanny artistic talent and the ability to stare at a blank wall for hours without becoming bored, the patients also displayed some truly disturbing personal habits.
Every single one of them sleeps exactly 8 hours every night. Not a minute more or less. They all wake up at exactly the same time with no alarms and sit straight up at 90-degree angles, their eyes wide open and alert. I've tried to get them to vary their schedules, to stay up too late binging Stranger Things or wake up randomly at 4 a.m. to eat a bagel. I do both of those things on a regular basis, but none of my patients have ever diverted from their usual sleep schedule at all.
Later on, the patients all gather in the common area for another pivotal part of treatment.
All right, everyone. Welcome to group therapy. Today, our goal is to express our feelings.
Okie dokie, gang. We should probably decide what order we should share our feelings in. Studies show that alphabetizing provides a framework, a scaffold, if you will, from which we can compile a comprehensive and orderly list and conserve cognitive energy. For example, in my historically accurate reconstruction of various tool handles, I have worked alphabetically, starting with a tool called an adze, A-D-Z-E, an axe-like curved blade. Traditionally, the handle or haft of an adze was made of hickory wood. Can we share in alphabetical order, Doctor?
Any order you like. Just say how you feel.
I feel cold. The weather has cooled earlier than usual. Thus, I did not bring a jacket. Thus, I am cold.
Look, that's not a feeling, that's a sensation.
I had a feeling yesterday, Doctor. I wasn't sure it was important, but since you are fielding questions about feelings, I think I can share it without violating the agenda.
Go ahead, Alice. This is a safe space.
I had an itch on my nose yesterday. I reminded myself that my feelings are valid, my feelings do not control me, and I have the power to respond appropriately to my feelings. I scratched the itch. I think we can all agree that was an appropriate response.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'd respond the same way.
Again, what you're talking about is not a feeling. Hunger, pain, cold, itchiness, these are not feelings. How does being cold make you feel?
Like, I need to get my jacket?
No! Frustration, rage, despair, dejection, irritation, helplessness. These are all feelings.
This must be what you mean by expressing your feelings.
You're all impossible. None of you have any irrational impulses at all.
I sometimes think about not correcting people's grammar, but then I correct it.
I own mismatched socks. For whimsy.
Why are you all like this?
He's really coming along. Things only got worse from there. Dr. Loeb was found trying to escape through a second-story window.
You think the mangroves have eyes, Ringmaster? Just wait. Just wait. Feed them an uncooked potato. You'll see what I mean.
Doctor, what are you doing?
He appears to be absconding out that window.
Any kind of potato. Russet, a German butterball, a fingerling, maybe even a yam.
The window is not an approved egress point.
I don't give a fuck.
This window is on the second floor. Serious injury may occur if you pursue your intended course of action.
If it gets me away from you people, I'd willingly fracture my shins. No!
Calm down. Close the window, Jerome.
They sedated me and left me to rest in one of the empty bedrooms. I slept for 18 hours straight. They saved my life, or at least my shins. I feel ashamed. I was supposed to be able to help these people. Maybe they never needed my help. I mean, Frank is the CEO of a private security company. He makes more money than I do. In fact, all of my patients are extremely successful. I don't think they're sane at all. That's not why their families had them committed. It seems so clear now. You know, Ed, the patient who spent all this time in the rec room creating historically accurate tool handles, his daughter told me the story of the moment she knew he needed help. At her wedding, he gave a father of the bride speech with no amusing anecdotes, no Monty Python quotes, and no tongue-in-cheek threats to the groom along the lines of, "I'm an avid gun collector." No. Ed began his speech by giving a detailed history of the university where the happy couple met. My patients aren't here because they're too sane for regular society. They're just impossible to be around because they're so damn boring. Anyway, at least I've got an audition lined up. Some casting director saw the footage from the group therapy session and mistook it for a mockumentary. She's casting a mini-series about a telemarketer who snapped one day and bludgeoned the man in the neighboring cubicle with a paperweight. She said that my ability to portray a broken man on the edge of nervous collapse was exactly what she was looking for.
Mark now sells a successful line of whimsical mismatched socks. They come in various shades of beige. Ed compiled a history of obscure universities and continued to create historically accurate tool handles. He is now on rake. The handle of a rake, he would like you to know, is called a shaft. Dr. Loeb went on to become a renowned actor and substance abuser. The Miskatatonic Asylum for the Incurably Sane was closed and reopened as a charitable organization, helping regular people file their taxes properly. All of the former patients volunteer for fun. The Witching Hour was written and edited by Hannah Kubiak and featured the vocal talents of Hans Pfrang and Gil Malice. The theme music was Lullaby by Kim Lightyear. Special thanks to The Witching Hour's Patreon supporters, Justin, Patrick, and Zach. You can become a patron at patreon.com/thewitchinghour-broadcast for outtakes and bonus content.
Hello, everyone. Is this thing on? Well, you might not know me. I'm Ed, the father of the bride. Merriam-Webster's dictionary defines father as a male parent, but also extends to a man who acts like one, an originator like the father of modern science, or a church father, a priest, a forefather, or an elder statesman. This covers biological, spiritual, and foundational roles. So in essence, while the most basic definition